In this video, we're going to be talking about arithmetic operators. Now, mathematics and arithmetic operations in general are often done in programming, including JavaScript programming. So let's see how they work. Now, in order to do basic mathematics like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, JavaScript provides some basic arithmetic operators. Here's a list of a few of them. So first, we have the addition operator, which is a plus. This addition operator adds operands together, just like in basic math. And then we have the subtraction operator, which is the minus symbol. It minuses operands from one another. Then we have the multiplication operator. This is actually written as an asterisk in JavaScript. The multiplication operator multiplies the operands. And of course, we have the division operator, which divides the first operand by the second one. It is written using the forward slash. Now, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division are the four basic arithmetic operators, but there are a few more of them in JavaScript as well. For example, we also have the modulus, which returns the remainder after a division. And we also have the exponent, which raises a value to a power. It is written using the double asterisk symbol. And we have double plus, which is increment, which increases a value by 1. And the opposite, we have double minus or decrement, which decreases a value by 1. Now let's see some real-life examples of basic arithmetic in JavaScript. We'll start with some simple examples. So first, let's take a look at simple addition. So 1 plus 2 equals 3, right? It's basic math. We're using the plus operator or addition operator in order to add 1 to 2, getting the result 3, as you can see on the right hand side. We also have subtraction. For example, 9 minus 3 equals 6. Similarly, we have multiplication. So 5 multiplied by 4 or 5 asterisk 4 equals 20. And of course, division. So 30 divided by 12 equals 2.5. We write the division symbol using the forward slash. And of course, we have exponents. So 3 double asterisk 2 actually means 3 square, or 3 raised to the second power, or 3 to the power 2. So 3 square equals 9. So that's how you can do exponent-based calculations in JavaScript. And of course, we also have modulus. So 40 modulus 6 equals 4. How does this work? Well, first we divide 40 by 6. As you can see, 40 divided by 6 does not result in a whole number. The biggest that we can get is 6 into 6, which is 36. So 36, when minused from 40, gives us 4. So after division, 4 is what's remained, and that's the result of this modulus calculation. Now, if you know basic math, you might be familiar with the order of operations. Basically, if we have multiple operations side by side, then there's a certain order in basic mathematics. In order of operations, when you have multiple operations side by side, you first do the division ones. Then you move on to the multiplication ones. And then you do the subtraction and addition. This is the order of operations in mathematics. And of course, you have parentheses, and calculations inside parentheses are executed before any of these. JavaScript also follows these order of operations. So for example, if we have 1 plus 3 into 6 divided by 3, then we get the result 7. So here, the division, which is 6 divided by 3, is calculated first. So 6 divided by 3 equals 2. then the multiplication, so 3 into 2 equals 6, and finally the addition, 1 plus 6 equals 7. Of course, you can change the order of operations using parentheses. So in this case, if you want the addition to be specifically executed first, then you can put parentheses around them. In this case, the result changes from 7 to 8 because now we don't start with the division, but we start with the addition because that is in parentheses. So anything that's inside the parentheses is executed first. So 1 plus 3 is executed first. 1 plus 3 gives us 4. And then the division is executed. 6 divided by 3 gives us 2. And 4 into 2 equals 8. Now in basic mathematics, you have the normal parentheses, but you also have other type of brackets, such as the curly braces and square brackets. In JavaScript, you don't need to use curly braces or square brackets. You can actually nest the same parentheses one inside the other. For example, you can do something like this. So in this case, we're telling JavaScript to specifically execute 3 into 6 first because that's the innermost parentheses. Then it'll calculate 1 plus whatever is left over from 3 into 6. And finally, it'll divide it by 3. So in this case, 3 into 6 is executed at the very first. So 3 into 6 gives us 18. And 18 plus 1 gives us 19. And finally, 19 divided by 3 gives us 6.333 and so on. So in this case, you can nest parentheses inside another, and the deepest nested parentheses will be executed first, and then the execution will move up the parentheses chain. Now in basic mathematics, we only work with numbers, right? But in JavaScript, we can also do certain calculations with strings. So let's take a look at a few of them. So in this case, we have a string ABC and we're adding it to the string XYZ. This is very similar to adding numbers. We can type in 1 plus 2 and it returns 3. But we can also use strings ABC plus or added to XYZ. So these are two strings and we're adding them together. In real-world mathematics, this doesn't make any sense, but in JavaScript, this is a perfectly valid operation. In this case, whenever you add a string to another string, JavaScript just adds these two strings together. This is called concatenation in programming. And the result of this on the right hand side, as you can see, is a string returned ABCXYZ. So JavaScript basically takes the two strings side by side and adds them together. This is how you can concat strings in JavaScript. Now what if you add a string to a number? In this case, we have a string ABC and we're adding it to a number 12. Now again, in real life, this doesn't make any sense. But in JavaScript, when you add a string to a number, JavaScript actually automatically converts the number into a string. So in this case, ABC plus 12 is treated as ABC plus 12 in strings. So when strings are added together, JavaScript just adds them side by side. So in this case, ABC plus 12 equals ABC12, the whole string together, as you can see on the right hand side. So whenever you add strings with numbers, the numbers are automatically converted into strings and concatenated together. Now of course, not every operation is valid with strings and numbers. For example, you can't minus a number from a string. In this case, we have a string that says ABC minus 9. Now, this doesn't even make any sense, even in JavaScript, and that's why it returns nan, which is not a number, meaning the operation is not valid. So you can't minus a number from a string. You also can't minus a string from a string. It doesn't make any sense as well. So the string ABC minus the string XYZ doesn't make any sense. And it also results in nan, means not a number. The operation is invalid. Now here's a very important thing to remember. when you're adding numbers together, you have to make sure that both of the numbers are actually in number form and not strings. Because if the numbers are actually in string forms, then they won't be added together, but they'll just be concatenated side by side. So in this case, we have two numbers, 2 plus 6, but both of them are strings. Because 2 and 6 are strings, JavaScript treats them as strings. So just like ABC plus XYZ results in ABC XYZ, similarly 2 plus 6, because both of them are strings, results in 26 and not 2 plus 6 equals 8. So in this case, you have to be careful with JavaScript, because if your numbers are actually in string form, then they will just be concatenated side by side. So 2 plus 6 won't return 8, but 2 plus 6 will actually return 26. We'll see how to solve this in just a minute. But before that, let's take a look at another thing. Sometimes the strings are actually converted into numbers and not the other way around. So we just saw that ABC plus 12, in this case, when you add a string to a number, the number is automatically converted into a string. But in this example, we have 5 the string minus 7. In this case, because we're minusing 7 from 5 the string, the 5 is actually converted into a number. In this case, when 5 is converted into a number, 5 minus 7 gives us the actual result minus 2. Now that's about strings and numbers, but you can also do mathematical operations with booleans. In JavaScript, boolean true holds a numerical value of 1 and boolean false in a numerical context holds a value 0, and you can actually use it in mathematical operations. You won't be using it that much in real life programming, but it's fun to know. So for example, true plus true is actually 2, because true in a numerical context is treated as 1. So true plus 2 is the same as 1 plus 1, which results in 2. Also, false is 0, so false minus false results in 0, because false minus false means 0 minus 0, which equals 0. True minus false, which is 1 minus 0, results in 1. And of course, false minus true, which is 0 minus 1, results in minus 1.